Welcome back to the news at 10. As part of measures to regain power at all levels, the People's Democratic Party has given its members the assurance that there will be equitable zoning of all its national offices and elective political offices to give all parts of the country a sense of belonging. This was disclosed by the chairman of the party's zoning committee and governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel, after the party's inaugural meeting held in Uyo, the state capital.
The meeting went so well. For the first time, I've seen people going in one direction. Simple unity, and what our party stands for came to play. Justice, equity, progress, unity. And we are saying it's party for the people. So we are saying let's take the party back to the people. And that made it so easy for us. And we've reached consensus in almost all the zoning basic positions. All the 12 national working committee seats, we successfully zoned them. I think I'm very happy that we achieved a full consensus. And you can see a meeting like this, everybody is relaxed, everybody is happy. We could see the future of PDP. We could see that togetherness again in PDP. We could see that unity. We could see that oneness of purpose. I think it's something that gladdens my heart. I'm happy to be working with these distinguished gentlemen, my fellow governors who are here, and all the National Assembly members, the major stakeholders of PDP. I think this is the first time I'm seeing this level of cooperation in our party. It shows that everybody is ready to return this party to the peak that it was before we lost at the center during the last presidential election.
The National Security Advisor has set up a cybercrime advisory committee towards addressing the menace of internet-driven crimes, which has resulted in huge economic losses for the nation. Mr. Babagana Mungono said Nigeria loses 127 billion naira to cybercrime annually and remains among countries with the highest rate of software piracy, intellectual property theft and malware attacks. The 31-member committee, chaired by the NSA, is charged with the responsibility of ratifying issues on standards and legislation on terrorism perpetrated through cyberspace, web hacking, defacement. The Attorney General of the Federation also proffered a multi-stakeholder collaboration solution considering the rapid growth in internet usage and increased infiltration into government-protected cyberspace.
The only viable way forward in fighting cybercrime is through multi-stakeholder, interagency, bilateral and multilateral collaboration and cooperation. It is in this light that we look forward to the work of the Council with all stakeholders to make Nigeria's online environment a safe environment.
A report published in 2014 by the Center for Strategic and International Studies of the United Kingdom estimated the annual cost of cybercrime to Nigeria at about 0.08% of our GDP, representing about 127 billion naira. Activities of hackers and cyber criminals in recent times have threatened government presence, economic activities, and security of Nigerians, as well as vital infrastructure connected to the internet. Examples of such activities include hacking of websites of government entities and diplomatic missions. This situation is made possible partly due to lack of awareness of cybersecurity and poor enforcement of guidelines and minimum standards for security of government websites, particularly those hosting sensitive databases of Nigerians. Thus, the need to take serious action to protect our national cyberspace has become a national security requirement.
Let's take a look at some business news for the day. Here's Anne Waudu.
You first. First Bank.
Hello, welcome to Business News. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Kachikwu, has asked members of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries to find a consensus on proposed freeze on oil output. Dr. Kachikwu's statement is coming a day after talks among 16 oil producer nations in Doha, Qatar's capital, ended inconclusive. A deal to freeze oil output by OPEC and non-oil producers and non-OPEC producers fell apart on April the 17th. That's after Saudi Arabia demanded that Iran join in the agreement despite calls on Riyadh to save the agreement and prop up crude prices. Nigeria has been in the forefront of securing an agreement among producers to freeze output as the decline in the oil revenue has hit the finances and currency of Africa's largest oil producer and exporter. Nigeria's unstable electricity supply and declining oil exports may continue for some time as the repair of the Forcados oil terminal in the Niger Delta may continue until next month. The Forcados facility accounts for the passage of some 40% of gas that are used as feedstock by power generating companies. The oil asset that was damaged by vandals last February has been under repair and was initially built for completion this month. But the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, says the major source of gas supply for electricity and oil export terminal remain under repair. And as part of efforts to ensure the continuous redefining of hospitality industry, the management of Transcorp hotels is reaffirming its commitment to provide quality services to all its patrons across the globe. At the company's annual general meeting in Abuja, the chairman, Otegai Meho, says despite the global economic challenges, the Transcorp hotels will continue to do its best to meet the hospitality needs of their ever-increasing clientele.
It's the annual general meeting of Transcorp Hotels, a leading global name in the hospitality industry. The chairman of Transcorp Hotels goes straight to business as he addresses shareholders.
In fact, that we pay dividend this year is because we really feel that the situation is very hard for everybody. Let's see what we can do. When a company is getting external support in terms of facilities and other things, we've just gone to the market to raise money through bond. In order to finance this project, it is really the wrong time to be aggressive in dividend.
One after the other, shareholders expressed their opinion on how to improve the fortunes of the hotel. But the concerns expressed by the shareholders are immediately addressed by the managing director.
We do a lot to guarantee safety of life and property here.
The high point of the meeting is the declaration of dividends by the chairman.
Item 2 of the agenda, which is the declaration of a dividend of 40.85 kobo per ordinary share of 50 kobo.
Excited by the declaration of a dividends, shareholders pour encomiums on the board of Transcorp Hotels.
The shareholders have a deep sense of comprehension on the beautiful results achieved by the company.
Shareholders are very delighted that a company in the second annual general meeting is sustaining their dividend policy.
At the end of the meeting, the chairman and the managing director assured prospective investors that the Transcorp Hotels brand remains a leader.
We're a unique hotel. If you look at the whole of Abuja, we excel exceedingly. We provide the highest number of accommodation available.
I also commend the advice they've given to us, which is around having us continue to sustain the momentum.
The year 2015, according to the management of the hotel, was a challenging one. But in spite of the challenges, the company experienced an increase in its operational profit before tax, as it recorded 5.5 billion naira over the 4.6 billion naira recorded in 2014.
One of Nigeria's Tier 1 lenders, Zenith Bank, today announced a decline in gross earnings and profit margin for the first quarter of 2016. Now, the bank's gross earnings fell by 12.3 billion 12.3% to 99.4 billion naira, and that's against 113.3 billion naira reported in the same period in 2015. Pre-tax profit trimmed about 1 billion naira, while net profit was reported lower at 26.6 billion naira. Zenith Bank, however, posted a net profit income growth of 37.1%, while operating income was better in the first quarter by 8.5%. And Monday's trading session on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed the day in the red as investors await more negative corporate results from listed equities. For more on this, here is Temple Ashaju.
Glad to have you join us. Thank you for joining in. Trading data of the website of the Nigerian Stock Exchange as at 4 p.m. on Monday shows that the all-share index was down 0.3% to 24,652.51, while the market's value trended lower to 8.46 trillion naira. The exchange reported a delay in trading resulting from a technical glitch. Investors exchanged over 124.29 million units of shares in 1,588 deals for a naira value of 552.73 million. With the available data, Nigerian breweries emerged the topmost decliner, down by 4 naira, while Owando and Zenith Bank eased by 26 kobo and 15 kobo each. Stanbic IBTC, Africa Prudential Registrar, and Transnational Express were the chief gainers of the day. And Equity Assurance led the top trades chart with 40 million units of shares, while FBN Holdings and Unity Bank followed suit. That does it for the stock market report on Monday. I'm Temple Ashaju.
Oh, thanks a lot, Temple. The deadlock from OPEC's oil output freeze meeting and the recent earthquake in Japan took its toll on the Asian markets today, but that impact was shrugged up by European and US markets. For more on those figures, let's check it out now. And that's Business News Tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwawado. Ijama will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
You first. First Bank.
Still ahead on the news at 10, we'll take a look at the sports stories that made headlines today. To join us again.